Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode 8 of What Lies Ahead, a discussion series that the Bay Club is having with their members in the community. I am thrilled today. We are doing our topic all about modern moms and what has changed in the last 3 weeks since our children have been sent home from school and we have become the teachers, in addition to the work that we are doing from home. And it's really about what have we been able to figure out from a resource standpoint. What are our views on how are we going to spend our summer? What kind of programming are we going to have access to? And be able to get share these thoughts with our community, but in addition, get your feedback as we continue to receive the notes that our members are sending to the new normal at bayclubs.com. So as most of you know, I think you've met my kids either from jumping in the background or we finally decided to have them on an episode a couple days ago. I am a mom of 3 boys, ages 14, 11, and 10. And my, news of the day today is that they start spring break at noon and we are on spring break for the next 10 days. So an even new adjustment as we start to film this video series today. But why don't we go ahead and get started with our introductions. And the first person I'm going to have do the introduction is Lori Miner.
Hello, everybody. My name is Lori Miner. I reside in Campbell, California. I was born and raised here. I am the general manager at Bay Club Santa Clara, and I have been with the company for 19 years. So fortunate enough to start my career over at Courtside Club in the daycare. Jumped over to what was then Decathlon Club, now Bay Club Santa Clara, as the child care director at that time, and then moved into operations in 2011 and began to explore a different part of the business at that time. So really excited to be here today sharing with you guys. I am a mom of a 15-year-old freshman in high school, so very excited to share and hear how everything is going in the field today.
Lori, it's great to have you today. Thanks for joining us. We're going to go up to Portland and have Nicole Vernig, who is joining us from our club in Oregon, give her introduction.
Hi, I'm Nicole Vernig. I am the Senior Membership Director out of the Oregon campus, so I reside in the Portland Club. A little fact about me, I've been in this club since the 90s as a member, so I've kind of been able to see the evolution of this club. And, I worked out here in college as an athlete and, as a young professional, and now I have my own children who are growing up in this club. So it's been really exciting to see the evolution of this property, and truly the last year has kind of been the highlight of everything as I've worked in this club for about 5 years. So I'm just really excited to be a part of all of this.
Really appreciate you joining us today. Thanks, Nicole. Annie Schneider, one of the few other Annies inside the Bay Club company. I'll have you give your introduction.
Yes, hi, I'm Annie Schneider, and I have been in the childcare position for 17 years. I've actually grown up at the club, started off as a teacher, worked my way up, and had kids of my own. My children are 8 and 10, and they keep me busy. And so I definitely am happy to join you ladies today.
Thank you. It's great having you. Kelsey Evans, you've been, I think you've done one of the series, yes? Or is this your first time on? So Kelsey, for everybody, is the magic behind all of the editing. And every time we sneeze, cough, or make a mistake, she makes sure that it gets edited out, but is also a mom. So I'll have you give your introduction.
When I'm not editing sneezes, I do a mom to a almost 3-year-old daughter. I live in Oakland with my husband, my daughter, and my dog. I also have another one, a baby boy, coming in about 3 weeks. So we're expecting life to change pretty drastically soon. I've been with the Bay Club for 15 years, almost 15 years now. I started right out of graduate school, and I've been very fortunate to hold different positions in sales and member services, and now I'm our Vice President of Marketing.
It's great to have you on. I'm going to introduce the community to Sarah Appel, and Sarah and I do share the same last name because we are related. Sarah is the wife of my cousin Matt, also a mom and a member of the Walnut Creek community. So Sarah, I'll let you do your introduction.
Hi, my name is Sarah Appel. I'm mother of two daughters, Ella, who is 8, and Piper, who is 6, who are homeschooling at the moment. I also run Sonoma Horse Park, which is a equestrian show jumping facility in Petaluma. And I own Horse and Style Magazine, which is an equestrian lifestyle magazine. So I am balancing a lot of things as well as all of these other moms here. And I'm pretty active at our school, Buena Vista Elementary. And so it's been interesting to have a group of PTA moms as well that have been involved with helping and struggling with all this together.
Really appreciate you joining us today. It's great to be great to get your perspectives. Jamie, Jamie is the mom of the most kids on our Modern Mom panel today. She gets that gold star. I'll have you give your introduction.
Good morning. Thank you, Annie. My name is Jamie Manful. I am the general manager at the Bay Club in Pleasanton. I currently reside in Livermore, California, originally from Honolulu, Hawaii. I've been in the industry for over 15 years. I started my career off in Honolulu, Hawaii at a small little gym called Slam Iron Gym. Very happy to be here. I have 5 beautiful children, ages ranging from 17, 16. I have a 12-year-old and twin boys that are 7. Again, very happy to be here and happy to share with all of you.
Thank you for joining us and for finding a quiet space in your house to do this. Ashley, I'm going to have you give the final introduction this morning.
Hey, my name is Ashley Gillum, and I am the Senior Director of Family Programming for the Bay Club. I have the amazing ability to work with all of the different family programming teams. I've only been with the company for 9 short months. It has felt so much longer. It's been such an amazing roller coaster. And now I am balancing that with homeschooling my 6-year-old son, Zane, and my 4-year-old daughter, Avery. So it's been a great experience, and I am learning a lot, both in my job and as a mom, and being able to patch those 2 things together.
I can only imagine. So as you notice, it's all women today. We gave Matthew the day off from being the co-host, and we have asked Stacy Literal, who is the Executive Vice President of our family kind of programming overall, everything associated with the family at the Bay Club, to join us. And I'm going to hand it to her to both give her introduction and then start the question part of our series.
Thanks, Annie. Hi, everyone. My name is Stacy Literal. As Annie said, I'm the EVP of Family Programming for the Bay Club. I've been with the company for about a year now, a little over a year now, and it has just been an incredible journey to meet our members and to hear from the membership what types of amenities and services we can provide on the family front. And I think we'll talk a little bit today about how we are perceiving the new normal, what we think will happen with summer camp, and all of those details. Before I get into that, I'll just say that I have 2 kids of my own. I have a 13-year-old son who is in 7th grade and an 8-year-old daughter who is in 3rd grade. And it's been a ride being home with them, and really am enjoying the time, but also I think, like all of us moms out there, are just trying to figure out how to balance the time and make the most of it with them. And so I appreciate this village network that we've got at the Bay Club, and I'm looking forward to this series helping our membership work their way through that and hopefully find some commonalities among us moms. So I'm really grateful to be able to be a part of this series. In thinking about what lies ahead for us in the family programming world, there's a few different areas in which we serve our membership. One is the day-to-day kind of reliable childcare that happens in our clubs, and really rethinking how can we do that in a socially responsible, with distancing type of way. And there's definitely some challenges around that, knowing, probably socially distancing children is arguably the most challenging thing that we will have in front of us. So I would love to hear from our membership if anyone out there has any ideas or has had some experiences that they feel like could support us being able to resume those services as soon as possible. We're really thinking deeply about how we can bring that back to our membership. The next big hot topic that's coming up for us, as Annie kind of alluded to in her introduction, is the idea of summer camp. And we have, we planned for Plan A, which is to run our summer camps as usual. We generally see between 2,000 and 3,000 kids in our summer camps at any given time, and so we know that that's a huge value add to the members. That is, we're really going to need to think hard about moving to Plan B, which we're exploring options like family camp, where we kind of offer camps to a family in a pod type of environment where you can come to our clubs and utilize outdoor spaces and have activities that our really creative associates will provide for you. So really trying to think creatively about a Plan B, and then even going so far as kind of contingency planning on the Plan C side of virtual camps. How can we provide a structure and activities through virtual platforms, whether it's Zoom or Facebook Live or just some online blogs and articles that we can share. So we are thinking and putting our creative juices to work and really trying to figure out how we can resume services and continue to provide value to our members. So again, would just love to hear from the membership. I think the biggest part of this blog series is really engaging in the conversation. And so we really look forward to hearing from the membership how you think about that and how we can help you. So I'm really excited to kind of move into our next step of this discussion and really talk to these amazing moms about how things are working for you. So my first question is for Jamie. We just heard she's got 5 kids, and I'm just impressed with, again, the quiet space and the beautiful hair today on this video. I think we were all excited to have the opportunity to take a shower today. So my question for you, Jamie, is how has this pretty significant change in routine affected you and your family?
With the changes that have happened, we're all in the same house, and we're working. My husband and I are working from home, and so with my twins that are 6 years old, we're trying to figure out what the happy place is that they're not in school. And so we've converted our living room into teaching areas, and where we can host workstations for them, and they're very active. And so having them out of the house for a certain amount of time, doing activities outside and keeping them very active so that we can start burning off their energy, because keeping them in the house all day long is very hard to do. And then I have a middle schooler who's 12 years old, and he's very into reading and very into music. And so still keeping him active in those areas where he's able to find that quiet spot for reading, and really being able to still play his instrument that he's learned how to play at the beginning of the school year. And then I have a 16-year-old daughter who's very creative, loves art. We've been able to purchase an easel through Amazon where she can still have an outlet for herself and still be able to paint and be able to show off her beautiful paintings to everyone. And then I have a high schooler who's senior. He's 17 years old, and this year it was his year to graduate. And so with the community, we've built a Livermore High School Facebook page for all the parents. And so the parents are really getting involved in how do we still make this happen for our seniors. And so the community's purchased these yard signs that says Livermore High School senior lives here, and everyone will be getting one posted in their yard.
I think it's great that your community is coming together, building a village, and finding a way to honor those seniors. So that's great. Thank you for that. I'm going to move on to my next question is for Lori. In your introduction, we heard that you're the GM of our Santa Clara Club, and we know so much of that role is about interacting with members and being present at the club. Obviously, that's changed a lot for you, and so now you're working from home and you're working with your freshman son there in the house. So how have you found the balance of working with our members a lot virtually, I'm sure, keeping in contact with them, and how are you balancing that with the demands of your family?
We're trying to figure out, number one, you're right, how do I work from home? That's brand new for me. Our industry is not a work from home industry. So that's been a challenge, but fun to kind of work through. And then same with our kids, right? This whole virtual online distance learning it's new, and it's a challenge every day to work through. So as we got through week 1, I found a couple tips that had helped me kind of identify 3 things that I felt were really relevant to all moms and dads and parents. As we go through, whether you have littles, high school students, even college students that were sent home. And the biggest thing was create a schedule. I will share my son, I created a schedule the second Monday I was home, and he looks at me and he goes, "Mom, you are not this mom. What's wrong with you?" And I'm like, bear with me, let's get through it, and we'll work it out. And creating a schedule that worked for not only him, but me, and figuring out how do I work and not be distracted, how do I support him. We went from, how do you create a schedule when 90% of our activities, whether it's sports and leaving for school and work, were cut out of the equation. So we focused a lot on that. Create a schedule, stick to it, even if it's as simple as, we're scheduling breakfast, we're scheduling work times, we're scheduling exercise. How do we do that together? The second key thing for me was really set expectations. We're so hard on ourselves every day to, how do we set these expectations that are really realistic and, achievable, and then pivot and be flexible at the same time when we don't meet our expectations that we've previously set. So that's been huge. And then for my son and I, really just finding this silver lining in all of this. We have been able to slow down in a society and, a world that's just not slow.
Thank you, Lori. Those are such good tips. Next question is for Kelsey, and I specifically chose this question for Kelsey because as our VP of Marketing, she's got a great way of taking the challenges and put a positive spin on them. So I would love to hear from Kelsey, especially with expecting a baby and having a high demand job from home, and then a pretty active, I know Abby, pretty active 3-year-old, almost 3-year-old. Tell us a little bit about the challenges that you've been facing during this time and what your strategies have been to overcome those.
I think when it comes down to those, as moms, we try to do it all, but we've always had help doing it all. We've always had our teachers, our nannies, people that help in our households, and now that we've stripped all that away, we really are doing it all, which is kind of scary. And I think the real challenge, I think Lori alluded to it earlier, was letting go of expectations that things are by any means the same as they used to be. And it's, all while we're kind of a little bit worried and fearful of our health and our family's safety during this time. So I especially feel exhausted. I don't know about everyone else. And then in terms of trying to work through it, sometimes it's good to cry, because why not? The first week for sure, there were some cries. But the other thing that's helped, and Lori alluded to it too, again, for our family, is we take it day by day. We don't go past the next day. After, when we put Abby down, we look at the next day. We try to look at our schedules. We plan when she's going to do an activity, when she's going to watch a movie, because we have calls, and it's important that sometimes our job takes the priority. Actually, one of our go-tos is from the Daily Bay. It's the indoor scavenger hunt. And we send Abby around the house looking for paper clips and toilet paper and toothpaste, and it keeps her entertained for an hour. And we got an hour out of that. And then we go to the next thing. And then, like I said, we put her in front of a show if we need our jobs to take priority, which again is okay. So I think it all boils down to, again, expectations, making sure that we allow ourselves the leeway to just have the schedule blow up and laugh about it versus worrying about it or stressing about it. And, it's been a really fast learning process over the last 3 weeks. I think we have both grown as parents. So, which is, I guess, it's another silver lining through all of this.
Thanks, Kelsey. Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of discussions out on the groups about moms feeling guilty with screen time, and I think just calling that out, that you know, sometimes we need that, and just like sometimes we need to cry, it's okay. And you know, there's a lot of great resources. I know we'll get to that in a minute. A lot of great resources out there that allow kids to learn via technology. And so, you know, taking advantage of that is okay. And then, you know, the consistent message here has been to manage expectations and allow ourselves a little bit of grace. So thank you for reminding us of that. All right, my next question is for Nicole. And I think this is a really important question that probably all of us moms at some point have asked ourselves or have been asked by our children is, you know, what's going on in the world? What are your kids asking you? What are they curious about? What are you hearing your friends' kids asking their parents about? You know, and how do we message that to them?
Yeah, and like you said, I think that's a really great question because it does relate to every parent during this time, whether you have younger kids like myself. And I have my son, Grayson, who's preschool age, who does have a very narrow view of the world right now. His daily life revolves around preschool in the park. He does attend Kids World at the Bay Club Portland quite a few times during the week, and he started attending camps. So these are all of these places where he started to develop his first memories and interactions with friends and adults outside of his family, and he's starting to see that all go away. So my response has been to talk through safety and the importance of staying home right now, not only to keep our family safe from germs, but we're also doing our part in keeping others safe as well. And, you know, this means that there are a lot of people like doctors and farmers and grocery store workers, you know, these pool of people that he understands their, you know, what they do for a living, and, you know, talking through the fact that they are working really hard to bring those things that we love back. And that's why he's seeing mommy go to work every day, because she's part of, you know, that workforce that's helping to resume those things that we love doing, you know, at the Bay Club, but in a safe way, you know, so that we can see our friends and allow other families to have fun, but stay healthy as well. And so it all kind of boils down to why this is kind of such a great company to work for and to be a member of, because we are so focused around the family and creating those memories. I mean, and just going to the Daily Bay, people are creating memories off of that, like a scavenger hunt. My kids love that as well, and actually both of them can engage in it. So, you know, for me being a mom, you know, being a part of this company supports that why for me, and that why I do get excited to go to work every day.
Thank you for sharing how you're discussing that with your family, and I'm just thrilled to hear how much everyone loves the scavenger hunt. That's great news for us. So my next question is for Ashley. I've worked with Ashley for quite a long time now, probably about 9 years, and I know that she comes from a long line of educators, and I know that we are, as moms, kind of being pushed into the role of educator, of teacher, and helping our kids academically. So we know pretty surely that schools aren't coming back this year. And so can you share with us some of your tips and tricks, and what are you doing to kind of keep your kids' academics on track during this time?
I think the biggest thing that we've been doing is working it into our everyday routine, following the schedule, but doing it in a way that I can really get them to engage. My 4-year-old daughter is enthusiastic about everything. Unfortunately, my 6-year-old son is a little bit less excited to really get down and do that academic work at home. He's happy to perform for his teacher in the classroom, but when mom asks him to do it, it's a different story. So we've really taken the things that his teacher needs him to get done and set those as, okay, let's get those things taken care of in the morning when he's well rested and well fed, and you know, has that capacity for that. And then as the day kind of moves along, we try to move into activities that are meeting our needs, but also things that he's excited to do. So the way that I schedule my day for my kids is to try to give them clear expectations about really what's the kind of stuff that we need to get done that's not our favorite, both for them and for myself. Is it a special art project? Is it a cooking project? Is it one of those things? And then we set that up as kind of the carrot on the string to get through the day. I know as kids get older, those things might be a little bit more difficult, but maybe that's screen time for your kids. You know, letting them get on and chat with their friends online or play a special video game that they really like. So that's really been my saving grace through all of this, is creating a schedule. And now really it's that my kids understand what the schedule is and they're checking back. Mommy, it's time for this now. Or why didn't we do our outside time when we were supposed to do our outside time? So they're really keeping me on a schedule. But it's also been an amazing test case for the work that we're putting together for our social media pages, the Daily Bay, and content like this, where I can try things out with my kids and then be able to push those things out. So coming up next week, we're going to be moving into hourly programming. I think we were all a little bit surprised at how long this is moving out. You know, in the beginning, we thought maybe a couple weeks we would all hunker down and we would get back to our normal lives. Now knowing that it's going to go a little bit longer, having that daily programming so that you can log on in the morning, check out the schedule, grab your activities for the day, and we can really be that resource for all of you guys as members. To be able to take those activities and just plug them into your day, to help your kiddos make it through, and to give you that moment of, you know, to be able to step back, take a deep breath, and be able to balance what your kids need from you and what you need for either your job or just really your sanity.
Thank you so much, Ashley. Yeah, that the resources that we're going to be able to provide to the membership based off of what we're all experiencing and the feedback we've received from members is really allowing us to adapt and put out some things that we hope will be extremely helpful to our membership. So more to come on that soon. Thank you so much for sharing. I think that's going to be very, very valuable. Speaking of resources, we have the resource queen in the house, our Director of Family Programming from Bay Club Walnut Creek, Annie Schneider. We've loved seeing your daughter Logan all over the Daily Bay, making slime and doing some really fun activities. So we know that you have a treasure chest full of resources, and we just can't wait to hear them. So what resources are you using with your kids during this time that you found to be really helpful and you'd love to share with our members?
Of course. Thanks, Stacy. Well, first I want to say that finding balance has been a challenge, but utilizing some of the programs that have been great for me. My children struggle with wanting to read, and one great site that we use is Epic Books. So it's right now they're doing a free promotion, and so they have audiobooks, you can read and follow along. Great source for reading. My kids have not had a problem getting on and reading a book, and they'll go and realize an hour has gone by, and then later I'll look and they've pulled up another book, which has been awesome for us at home to see that they're going through, and you can see where their level is as they progress. Has been very helpful. Some other sources that I like to use for learning have been Splash Learn. You can go on right now, they are doing a promotion where you can go in and have a free month and add more kids as needed. And that's been very helpful since my programs here that the teachers have given, the kids can go through it rather quickly. And so having another source has been very, very helpful versus having school be 20 minutes, 30 minutes, depending on how quick your child is. You can move on to the next activity. And then something we like to do to make it a little bit fun, another online source that we like to use is Go Noodle. There's a lot of fun dances. They usually want me to participate.
Thanks, Annie. Those are some really great tips. And I think we really would like to, I mean, we can vote, but I think we would like to see your dancing on the Daily Bay here pretty soon. So we'll, everybody's giving the thumbs up on that. So that's to come next week, maybe. We'll
okay.
So my last question is for Sarah. Thank you so much, Sarah, for joining us. We really appreciate having members on and give us your opinions, and that's really what this series is about, is really talking to the community and creating the conversation around what does our new normal look like. So really focusing on that new normal and what lies ahead. How do you think that this experience that we've had over the last 3 weeks and seemingly will continue to have for some time here is going to change your family's life, the decisions that you make, where you take your kids, you know, your trusted village, and what those interactions look like, and then kind of secondarily, what's the role that you're looking to the Bay Club to provide for your family when we are able to resume services?
Thank you for having me. I think first and foremost, it's been, like everyone has said, interesting to kind of take a step back. My girls are very active. They play sports, they do piano, they do ballet, they do gymnastics. And we have something almost every day of the week, which is kind of how we like to be busy and like to be out there. So it has been nice. Kind of the only thing that they've been able to continue is piano because it's through Zoom and some of the other stuff. So it'll be interesting to kind of acclimate back into doing the activities. Camps are a big question for the summer. Soccer signups are we going to be playing in August? So I think it's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out. It's funny, I get the notifications on my phone of, oh, you should be at a game in 20 minutes and you're the snack parent. And you, for a second, you're like, oh, wait, no, I don't need to be there. And I kind of miss it too in those ways. So I think that that'll be interesting. One of the things I love about the Bay Club is that it's so community driven, and that there are already so many programs in place for children and for families. So I think that going forward, it is going to be, none of us really know how we're going to be able to go back to the normal, but slowly incorporating more community stuff and having chances as a family, like you said, to be there for, maybe that sounds like amazing to have a pod and be able to go and do things together with the kids there. And just really having community stuff together. I know that I am very active person and I'm an extrovert, and it's been really hard to not see my friends, and the Zooms are fantastic and it's a fun place to connect with different people, but just to have that kind of physical time with people. So I think it'll be great to be able to have a place, whether it's the pool, we're members of the Walnut Creek one, and it's such a great community there, or do other activities that we can do with our family, with our friends, and kind of have the space to do it, and just kind of see how it all unfolds.
Yeah, thank you so much for that perspective. It's great to hear that we're on the right track with some of our ideas. And as I said, kind of in the introduction, that we're continuing to listen to those ideas. Love, any level of feedback that any member or associate would like to share with us. So I'm going to pass it back to Annie for comments and to finish up for us.
I loved this conversation. And so I'm going to go to my favorite part of our video series, and that is when we get to say what we're thankful for, and we shout out to small businesses that we're trying to support. And, today I'm going to give a thanks to my mom. She's been really, really an integral part of me being able to be successful in the last 3 weeks as I've been home from work and basically working from home with the kids here. And everybody's talked about schedules. One of the things that we did is we scheduled 2 cooking classes with my mom every week, Tuesday and Thursday afternoons at 3:00. And we put a big computer into the kitchen, and my kids go in and they have a recipe that they've picked, and they all cook together, and they're learning to make pasta, and they're making bread, and they've made homemade tortillas. And I definitely need to go on more walks because I'm eating so much more than I expected to with these cooking classes. But it's been great. It keeps them connected. They will now, sometimes they figured the FaceTime out, and they'll just say, well, I'm going to go call Nani and check in because I want to talk to her. And I'm really grateful for that connection. So that's what I'm thankful for today. My small business is actually a little website called Simply Recipes that is a group of moms that are putting out some really good recipes. And, as we look for structure and ideas, we are all cooking a lot more probably than we were prior to. And I'm getting super sick of some of the same stuff that I used to make, once a week, and now it's 7 nights a week. There's expected to be dinner on the table. This is crazy. So I've been using them. They are easy for kids to follow as well. They've got some great ideas. And so it just, I appreciate there's a community of moms out there that continue to support my efforts in putting a healthy meal on the table. So why don't we go around? I'll start with Ashley. Why don't you tell us what you are thankful for in your shout out?
I would also like to shout out to my mom. She's retired now, but she was a stay-at-home mom. And then once we got a little more self-sufficient and went off to kindergarten, she became a teacher herself. And now seeing the, kind of hole that my kids not being in school has left, she sends daily activities through email to my kids with a special little note from her. So it's a way that she can connect with them and continue to support their education. So it's just one more thing to feel connected with family, and something that, she has a lot of things that she's supporting right now, but she takes time out of her day every day to think about my kids and to deliver those fun little lessons, and they come in a variety of different ways, and so they look forward to seeing that every day, and it's been one more thing to help me as a parent also. The small business, I don't know if this is a traditional small business, but I want to shout out to my daughter's preschool, Tree of Life Learning Center in Danville. Her teacher, Miss Leslie, is a godsend, and she's been getting on at 10 a.m. every day and doing a Zoom call with 4-year-olds. So thank you so much. You guys are superstars.
I love that. I'm going to tell my mom that I need a daily email too. That's a great idea.
I want to know how I get on Ashley's mom's email distribution.
You just send us some. Sarah, I'm going to go to you.
Now I have to thank my mom, of course. No, I was going to anyway, but she's been very helpful, and my mother-in-law as well. And as Annie Appel knows, we're really lucky we have this great family network in the Bay Area. And so just having them around, dropping stuff off or doing things and still social distancing, but also just having our Zoom calls and stuff together. I also, my small business, I have 2, I hope that's okay. One of them I'm really thankful for is our teachers at Buena Vista Elementary. They have been, a lot of them are moms as well and struggling the stuff with their own kids, but they've been available by Zoom. They've been checking in. And so I want to say hi to Piper's teachers, Mrs. Hare and Mrs. Bocci, and to Ella's teacher, Mrs. Fairholm. And then the other small business I wanted to promote is I Heart Art. It's an art studio in Pleasant Hill, and they have created these little to-go bags with 5 individual crafts in them. And so I'm sure we've all are Pinterested out on things we can have their kids create. So it's nice. We got some yesterday. My mother-in-law actually dropped them off for the girls, and it has all the instructions, all the stuff. And so you can just literally craft away. And so I think that small businesses like that could really use our support. So I Heart Art in Pleasant Hill. Thank you.
I love that. I'm going to have to head over there. That's a great one. Jamie, let's go to you.
There's a lot of things that I'm very thankful for during this time. Number one is my husband. He has been, there for our entire family. Like Kelsey said, we elevate our parenting skills and we take it to a different level. Super supportive. He has definitely been my PE teacher with the children and have taught them home economics with sewing. As he's creating masks for our entire family. And so very appreciative of him. I am thankful for Costco because they're my one-stop shop. They provide everything you have, and they definitely make sure that you're safe and healthy going into the store. So definitely wanted to say thank you and a huge shout out to Costco.
I've been doing the Costco delivery, and it's been saving us given the amount of food that we go through with the boys in the house. So I concur. Kelsey, let's go to you.
Yeah, like Jamie, I actually want to shout out to my husband too and say I'm very thankful for him. He is my teammate in this whole process, and he's had his own specific challenges, and he's just been great that he's able to partner with me through all this. And because I met him at the Bay Club, I should also shout out to the Bay Club and my family there and all of you lovely ladies, as well as my team that's working really hard right now. And they're so dedicated, and it's inspiring to see. So I just want to give a special shout out to those great group of people I work with every day. And then I have been a big fan of some retail therapy lately. So I'm going to give a shout out to a local, they're from San Francisco, shoe company, they're Rothy's. If everyone knows, I'm a huge, huge fan. They're pivoting in their factory to make masks, and they're doing different donation, and so they're helping to support those efforts. So I just think it's great that they're pivoting their business a little bit.
You're going to force me to get a pair of those shoes so that we can be twins. I know it. Lori, let's go to you.
I'd probably say, every day it's been super important for us to find that one thing we're grateful for in the day. But I'm going to have to go with my son on this one. And, the fact that he, just as much as I'm keeping him in check, he's checking me right back with the honesty and the patience. I'm really grateful for just the time that we've been able to spend together. And then my Bay Club family, you know, I've been a part of this company for 19 years, and to be able to constantly work full time and support our members in our clubs has been inspiring. And then to be able to also do what I am super passionate about, and that's being a mom to my son, it's been wonderful to be able to be a part of it and then navigate this new normal. So I'm thankful for my son, and I'm super thankful for my Bay Club family and all of you guys and our members, and that keep me busy every day. I'm grateful for that. So I would probably say I love keeping a clean kitchen and house, and so I'm not thrilled about cooking 3 meals a day. So when you talk about small businesses, I don't have one, but something that we've been doing at least 3 times a week is continuing to order out from our local restaurants. I think as we navigate through, small businesses and really that's just the hospitality industry in general, I know that, keeping their customers happy and trying to continue to provide food for the community is a challenge when everyone's a little bit afraid, of going out and continuing that. So with precaution, we have been eating out more than we've ever eaten out. And that's just been something that not necessarily a small business, but we've focused on is keeping our local restaurants busy as much as we can.
I think that's great. And it is really important. I mean, just, the hospitality industry in general is just being hit so incredibly hard. So Nicole, let's go to you.
I want to say a thank you because we do have a lot of members, and I personally have a lot of friends who are part of our law enforcement community, and, they have to keep continuing to do their jobs and putting their safety at risk. So I've just been super thankful for, our local law enforcement communities, here in Portland, and I reside out of Tigard. That's specifically where the Portland Club is out of. So just really thankful for all of those individuals.
Thank you for that, Nicole. Annie Schneider, I'm going to go to you.
Hi. Well, for me, there's so much to be thankful for. Just being able to get on with you ladies has been a little light in my day for today, where there's no lessons. But I have to give a shout out to our group instructors. I very much enjoy taking the classes at the club and miss that community of members. And so being able to jump on and take a class right from the Bay Club Connect app has been super helpful for me, whether I can do it at any time, which has been great. I've even pulled my husband into them since he can't get into the club either and is using that as an excuse. So I just want to give a shout out to those individuals trying to keep us active while we are at home, and a special shout out to my Elevate coaches. I was part of the Elevate program, and they're still keeping me accountable by email. So shout out to Annie Suter and Allie Mikesell. As far as for businesses, I'm in the same boat as Lori. I very much rely on my husband to cook, and he is not wanting to do that all the time. And so for me, I like to support our local restaurants. We reside in Pittsburgh, and so one of our favorite restaurants, and it's kid approved from our family, is the New Mecca Cafe, and they have best Mexican food, and my kids look forward to when we can go and just get takeout, and it's been a nice little delight and treat, and so that's my shout out.
New Mecca is delicious. It's one of my favorites. So good. Okay, Stacy, bring us home.
All right. So I feel like I should shout out my mom because I love her and she's amazing. But I am going to shout out and say that I'm thankful for my contractors. I'm sitting in my about 80% done kitchen, but when we first started in shelter in place, my kitchen had no appliances, which was terrifying knowing what we were about to go into. So my contractor was able to quickly rush and get my appliances in, and so I'm incredibly thankful for that, so that I can cook at home and be able to do that and not have to eat out 3 meals a day. That would have been really challenging. So really grateful to have a functioning kitchen. The small business that I'd like to shout out is Rakestraw Books. They're a independent bookstore, really small independent bookstore in Danville. Michael Bernard is the owner of that incredible bookstore. I've been to many great book signings with really very popular celebrity authors, but also really thankful for what he's doing online on their Facebook page. He's doing 11:30 every day, he's doing picture books for kids, and then at 1 p.m. every day he's reading a chapter of a novel, and right now he's reading Matilda, which is my favorite children's book. So really thankful for that he's doing that and engaging the community in a really tough time for him. So if you are looking for a book, Michael at Rakestraw Books will take care of you in Danville.
That's a good one. So I love all these resources, and I hope that the membership and the community that's watching this understands that that's really our goal, is to be able to stay connected to you. We find from each other great ways that we are day by day, adjusting and being able to continue to be a parent, but be a part of the workforce and be a part of the community. And so just want to thank you to everybody who joined us today. It was great to hear how from all the different ages we are adjusting to having our children home, and that it's not easy, but as we go day by day through it, we are definitely seeing that there's some positives here, and that we are learning kind of how are we going to adapt, but then also thinking about what's to go forward and how do we continue to slowly, when we come out of shelter in place, what does that look like for us? What does it look like for our children? And how are we going to make those adjustments as a team? So again, the email address is thenewnormal@bayclubs.com. We'd love to hear how you're thinking about the adjustment for your children once shelter in place is over. What does summer look like? And what would you like to see at the clubs as we spending time putting together schedules and plans in place for what our clubs are going to look like this summer and the adjustments we're making as a company? It's really important that our members have an opportunity to have a voice in that process. So thank you, ladies, for today. Really appreciate all of you coming on and participating and giving your time. Again, I'm very impressed that we saw no kids. This is a first for one of our Zooms. So thank you and have a really great day. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.